From hiding secrets in the background to straight up stealing characters from other shows, these are 26 things you surely missed in My Hero Academia. In Chapter 1, while the story explains the origin of quirks, a very interesting panel is shown featuring many shadowy figures. However, if you take a closer look, you may notice that some of them seem oddly familiar. That's because they are some of the most popular fictional heroes in the world, like Spider-Man, Ultraman, Kamen Rider, Moonlight Mask, and even Superman. Although we never got to actually see these heroes in the show, many of My Hero Academia's characters seem to be based on them. All Might is a combination of Superman and Captain America, Aizawa shares similarities to Batman, and Zero from Class 1A is a clear reference to Spider-Man. While we are talking about superheroes, there is a character in the series that is a complete reference to Deadpool. Do you know which one it is? If you guessed twice, you are right! Not only is their appearance really similar, but they both also act in a similar manner. However, popular superhero references aren't the only thing hidden in My Hero Academia. The other animes are as well. For example, during the provisional license exam, Todoroki fights a group of ninjas that seem really similar to the shinobis from Naruto. They even have the same headbands. This is because the author of Naruto, Masashi Kishimoto, is actually a good friend of My Hero Academia's author, and they've done an official crossover together. Kishimoto even made a sketch of Naruto cheering Deku, which symbolizes passing the torch from one anime to another. Besides other animes and superhero references, in Chapter 3 of My Hero Academia, there is actually a reference to one of the most popular characters in video game history. While President Mike is explaining exam rules to the students, we can see this illustration. Do these silhouettes seem familiar to you? Well, they should, as this is clearly a reference to Super Mario. The other silhouettes are all enemies from the Super Mario universe, like Goombas, Koopa Troopas, and the Piranha Plant. This great detail was unfortunately removed in the anime version and replaced with robots. Okay, you may already know some of the secrets so far, but this was only the first stage, and it'll only get crazier from here. Let's now talk about some secrets that anime onlys 100% missed. During the joint training arc, Bakugo changes into his winter gear, and Deku is quick to compliment his new looks. However, Bakugo being Bakugo, gets so mad at Deku that he even starts biting his text bubble. Another funny interaction between Deku and Bakugo that never made it into the anime happened in Chapter 167. While in the math class, Deku is trying so hard to solve the math problem, and when he finally says his answer, you can see Bakugo in the corner being annoyed. However, when it turns out that his answer is incorrect, you can see Bakugo smirking. And My Hero Academia secrets don't stop there, as in the film Two Heroes, a really familiar movie character appears. That character is Pro Hero Godzilla, which obviously represents the king of monsters, Godzilla. This cool little detail was possible because the company that produced the movie also holds the rights to the Godzilla franchise. But that's not even the coolest movie reference. You see, Kohei Horikoshi, My Hero Academia's author, is a huge Star Wars fan, and he left so many cool Star Wars secrets throughout the show. For example, remember that beach that Deku cleared while training with All Might? It's called Dagobah Municipal Beach Park, an obvious reference to the planet Dagobah. There is also this mall called Wookiees, which is a reference to the place Kashyyyk, where the Wookiees from Star Wars come from. However, by far the coolest Star Wars reference was right in front of our noses the whole time. This is All For One, the main antagonist of My Hero Academia. Does his design seem familiar to you? Even I didn't realize when I first watched the show, but this guy is basically the same as Darth Vader. Just think about it. They are both leaders of evil organizations, refuse to reveal their true identities, and wear similar machine helmets to help them breathe. Wow! I can't believe I didn't notice this sooner! And we can't make an Easter egg video without mentioning at least one JoJo reference. Thankfully, My Hero Academia has a perfect one! In Season 2, Episode 21, while Kirishima and Sato are participating in an exam against Cementos, a wall suddenly appears in front of them. And what do? Well, let's just say they break it in a very familiar style. Toga, a very cheerful and sadistic member of the League of Villains, is often shown wearing a face mask that helps her avoid inhaling toxic gas. But this doesn't seem like your usual gas mask. How did Horikoshi even come up with a design like this? Well, it turns out Toga's mask is the exact same mask Bane wears in the Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. Some of these secrets were pretty cool, but let's take it a step further and cover some secrets that I am sure 90% of you missed. We already talked about how Twice is based on Deadpool, but what if I tell you that an actual Deadpool appears in Season 4, Episode 24? While the new hero rankings are presented, if you pause right at 16 minutes and 20 seconds, you can catch a glimpse of Deadpool in the audience. Another thing that the show tried super hard to hide is this cool secret in Chapter 259. While heroes are teaming up to attack the Paranormal Liberation Front, you can see a bunch of cool-looking heroes in the crowd. But if you look all all the way to the left, you'll notice a familiar face. It's actually Denji from Chainsaw Man. Looks like even he wants to stop Shigaraki. There is also a character in Class 1B called Hirota Shishida, and his entire design is a clear reference to Beast from the X-Men franchise. Just look at their pictures next to each other. Besides both being human beasts, they also wear glasses and have protruding lower teeth. And if that's not enough to convince you, Hirota's quirk is literally called Beast. Come on, you can't get any more obvious than that. But I bet you have no idea what UA stands for in the name of Deku's school. You've heard the name of this school literally hundreds of times throughout the series, but did you ever stop to wonder what these two mysterious letters actually mean? Well, you see, in Japanese, the word hero is pronounced AU, and when you invert it, you get UA. So the letters actually don't mean anything in English, it's just a Japanese pun for the word hero. In My Hero Academia movie, World Heroes Mission, there is a scene where Deku is accused of being a mass murderer on live TV. At first, you may not notice anything unusual with this scene, but if you take a closer look at the TV station's logo, you'll notice that it's almost identical to the Fox TV logo from the real world. Blue background, white lines, and even this red part at the bottom. They didn't even try to hide it. In episode 27, while Deku and Gran Torino are unboxing the new microwave that just arrived, if you pause just at the right moment, you can see a really cool Amazon reference on the box. Or I better say, Amazon. Did you know that most of My Hero Academia's names actually have meaning behind them? Take Bakugo's name, for example. If we split it into two parts, we'll get Baku and Go. These words literally mean bomb and power in Japanese. Another great example is Denki, whose full name means electric and thunder. Okay, if you knew all of these so far, you are a true MHA fan. But there is still one stage of secrets left that I am sure 99.9% of you missed. Did you ever wonder how did Horikoshi come up with Momo's costume? Well, I did, and after a lot of research, I actually found where it's from. The pretty much same costume is worn by DC Comics villain Victoria Wanderer. You literally can't deny similarities here. In episode 87, while Endeavor and Hawks are walking through the city, there is this one Endeavor fan who is too afraid to ask for an autograph. He only appears briefly, but if you pause right here and think about it, you'll notice that this guy looks exactly the same as the main character from Fairy Tail, Natsu. This secret is even better when you realize that he is also voiced by Natsu's voice actor. In episode 49, if you pause exactly at 14 minutes and 5 seconds, you can see another character who definitely doesn't belong in this anime. This time, it's Scar from Full Metal Alchemist. All pro heroes in My Hero Academia have their hero names, and while some are cool, the others are just straight up ridiculous. However, one name that may be a bit confusing is Ida's hero name, Ingenium. What does it even mean? Well, after some research, I found out what it means, and it all makes sense now. Ingenium is the name for the automobile engine family, and since Ida's quirk is literally called Engine, it's a perfect name for him. But did the way All Might and Deku perform this attack seem familiar for some reason? If it did, it's probably because it's really similar to how Gohan and Goku performed their combined attack in Dragon Ball. There are also other Dragon Ball references in the series. Check this guy out. He literally wears Saiyan armor. Another great detail is in My Hero Academia's spin-off manga, Vigilantes. Here, the main character, Koichi, can be seen practicing his quirk. And yeah, you can probably see where I'm going with this. There is another cool secret in the movie, Two Heroes. Throughout this movie, there are a lot of Easter eggs, but one that caught my attention is definitely the one involving these two. Their names are David and Melissa, and their last name is Shield. Ring any bells? Knowing Horikoshi's love for Western comics, this is obviously a reference to the organization S.H.I.E.L.D. from Marvel Comics. Click on this video where we explained all Deku's forms in My Hero Academia.